Yes, welcome to the Jamaica Young Police Channel, where an experienced and certified detective of the Jamaica Constabulary Force is about to educate you with facts and not hyperbole. In 1992, Detective Sergeant Victor Straga Hamilton of the Narcotics Division had threatened to kill me, and ironically, the following year, another Detective Kirk, who was a member of my team, we had seen him having mechanical. He was driving an unmarked police vehicle, and his vehicle had a puncture tire. A puncture tire. One of his tires were punctured along Spanish Town Road, vicinity Riverton City at the stoplight. And Constable Kirk Palmer wanted me to give the go ahead so that he can kill him. And he wanted me to join in killing Detective Sergeant Straga Hamilton. And I'll tell you the reason why. And the reason why I'm doing this video is because of what this video of this detective who was slammed to the ground by about four uniformed police officers downtown Kingston, Jamaica. Welcome to the Jamaica Young Police Channel. You're a certified and experienced detective of the Jamaica Constabulary Force is about to educate you with facts and not hyperbole or propaganda for the government or its minion. I am not here promoting or supporting criminals or criminal police officers who I hated with a passion. I want you to listen to my first experience with a particular police officer, Detective Sergeant Straga Hamilton, who retired from the Jamaica Constabulary Force as a superintendent of police. And I'm going to show you that it seems like the more crime people committed, the more thief in the police force, the higher they reach in rank. So I'm going to tell you about this man. My first and only encounter I have in the police force with him. Yes. This is a man whom I have received several reports of him robbing drugs dealer in my police area. I want to be a police area. I didn't know him, but I knew his name because of, once you work on the street, you're gonna be familiarized yourself with the people, so you're gonna know everybody. If you don't know everybody as a detective on the street, in your police area, something is wrong with you. You're not an efficient and effective detective. You understand? So, and the incident happened almost 3 decades ago. In December 1992, one afternoon, I was in the Hunts police station, Kingston 11, CIB office, when a former police officer, whom I have known before, a friend of mine, came to the station and visited me. The former police officer, was working on a ship and was in Jamaica to get his new car, which was at the wharf, and had asked me to accompany him to a car dealership or to the brokerage. It was a car dealership, but they have a brokerage there along Oak Road vicinity, Mountain View Avenue. I was on break and scheduled to work on a special squad that night, in which that was my team because we had broken off for the day. So, you're supposed to go home and rest and return to the office. I spoke to Detective Sergeant Douglas Guthrie and Detective Inspector Ivan O. Thompson, who was my DDI, my Divisional Detective Inspector, about accompanying the former police officer to the place where he was going to take care of the necessary paperwork to get the vehicle he imported into Jamaica. An entry was written in the Huntsville crime diary with the address of where I was going by Detective Sergeant Guthrie, and I left with my former colleague. So it's not like, although I was off, but, I was coming back to work at 6 o'clock. But, knowing the kind of job my job that I have been doing as a detective, then young detective, they want to account for me my whereabouts because that is very important when you're a detective and your seniors and the people who are in charge of it, they know where you're at and where you're going, especially you know, when you're supposed to be working later on in the night, the same day. So they make sure that they took care of that and do the necessary. On my arrival at the place where my former colleague was going, I saw about four unmarked police vehicles parked inside the premises. The place is a little plaza with about eight or more little offices. I know that the vehicles were narcotics division vehicles, unmarked vehicle. I know them, you understand? Being a detective and working in the street, you know the unmarked police, you know that is narcotics police vehicle. Because I used to park at 230 Spanish Town Road. That's where eradication base was, special operation. You understand? So I know the vehicle. They were narcotics police vehicles. You understand? So the former police officer drove in. So if we were there on some shenanigans or anything like that, I'm not that kind of person because I have my integrity, to protect. You understand? So if we were on to anything, I would say, hey, police. You understand what I'm saying? So we had nothing to hide, so he drove in. You understand? I know police operate, especially, some egoistic police. So because I saw the amount of police vehicles, so I remained in the car. So my friend got out. You understand? The former police, he parked the vehicle and that he was alright and alighted. Immediately, I saw four police officers with guns in their hands, you know, pointing the guns at me and the former police officer and shouting out in loud voice, police don't move. And, they're using explicit and stuff like that. And that's how, Jamaicans communicate. The former police officers put his hand in the ear and they searched him. And I remained in the car sitting in the passenger seat, and Detective Sergeant Victor Strugger Hamilton was pointing his pistol at me and said in a low tone of voice, hey boy, come out of the car with your hands in the air, or else I'm going to shoot you. I saw the narcotics vehicle before he drove in there, And because I am not involved in any drugs trade or anything illegal, or him, he drove in the car. I have my police issued firearm between my legs. 'Cause that's how you travel with gun in. It's not like here in America where police seat belt and gun in holster. In Jamaica, it's like a war zone. So you have to have your gun between your legs. You understand that at moment notice you can pull it and you can, you know, pull your gun and, protect yourself because that's how it is in Jamaica. You understand? So, and I want you to know that I am a police officer stationed at Unspear Police Station, St. Andrew South, and that my detective inspector and detective sergeant know that I am coming here with this ex-police officer to this address and the shot number to take care of some paperwork for our car. One of the detectives that I later learned, his name is Detective Sergeant Williams, a brown guy, big broad face, with and he wear glasses. And the other two police officers, they lowered the firearm, except Detective Sergeant Strugger Hamilton. A woman police officer who is my junior. She was my junior at training school. I don't even remember her name. You understand? She was my junior and she was a part of their team. She came up and identified me as her senior and at the station where we were telling Detective Sergeant Victor Strugger Hamilton who I am and that I was a street police officer. He did not want to hear any of that and he wanted me out of the car and wanted to search the scene. And I told him I had no objection for him doing his job. I placed my police issue firearm in my waist and exited the car. The police officer searched the car and found nothing illegal. Nothing illegal. You understand? The ex-police officer said in a low tone of voice, my squad bat think. So he was talking about a police officer that works at narcotics. My squad bat thing told me that narcotics police officers are some of the biggest thieves in the police force. And you guys love to extort people for money. And I have no money to give any thief in police officer. or friend in any. I am a hard-working man who left the police force with an impeccable character, and some of you will eventually be reverted and put in uniform because of your thieving ways. None of you can talk to me on a thief or thief in police. But yeah, boy, you search, boy, you search here. Drugs and illegal fire. Which why I'm on a police, I'm on a thieving thing. You're a thief in police. You understand? So, the police, you know, even that time he never use any expletive, but he use derogatory word to call himself, on beggy beggy and licky licky police. You understand? That's his favorite word. So what the police officer said hurt Detective Sergeant Hamilton's ego, and he wanted to see my firearm to verify it was a government issue gun. The police officer, the woman police officer, told him to let me go, but he wanted to prove something. At first, I was reluctant to give him my firearm, and there was a standoff with him pointing his gun at me, threatening to kill me if I did not give him my firearm. I told the policewoman to take my firearm so that they could verify the same. A crowd was all in the plaza, people coming out of the office. It's not it's not the ghetto people them where them start behave boisterous. These were educated people, and they were just there looking, and you understand, and some were saying, man, is he treating that man, and he's a police officer, and you understand, and the woman I even told him that she know him and him thing. You understand? So that's how he was going on. So I let the policeman took my firearm. You understand? So that they could verify the same. So he wanted to go into one of the police vehicles with with the gun. As police officer, you don't give nobody a gun because I'm told that's a given. You don't do that. The only time you're supposed to relieve your gun unless somebody kill you. You're not supposed to give nobody a gun. That's something that they taught, that is embedded in you. So I say, you're not going in any police vehicle with the government gun without me. I do not trust narcotics police, as I have heard a lot of reports of you guys robbing citizens in my police here. And one of the main suspects is a police officer named Hamilton. It was like a little match because I did not know this man before, and I did not know that I was telling this man that he's a thief in police. And man, it's like hell blur loose now. You are calling me a thief and you don't know me, said Detective Sergeant Hamilton. I did not know that you are the police officer named Hamilton from narcotics. I have heard many reports of you robbing drug dealers in Huntsville police here and even in Waterhouse Kingston 11. I said to him, you have to come to narcotics to get your gun. He said, I am not going to let I am not going to let the government firearm travel in the vehicle without me present. I said to him, they left the premises and I traveled in the vehicle with my firearm, and Detective Sergeant Hamilton had my gun. Not, so the vehicle arrived at 230 Spanish Town Road, Kingston 11. That's where radication is, narcotics. Narcotics on the left, radication on the right, and upstairs is passport office. You understand? So when we reached there, people were even there, and I don't know, waiting on the passport or what. At narcotics headquarters, he went inside the superintendent's of police office and left me in, their office. My ex police colleague, you know, drove down to narcotics and was waiting for me, and at times cursed the narcotics police as thieves. He's a kind of police, old police, where he has a disdain for thieving police, and he called them licky licky police, and you understand. Then I saw a detective Oliver from Eradication, Special Operation Base, which is across, and he exchanged pleasantry with the ex-police officer. And both of them were talking, you understand. I could not hear what they were saying. But I know that Oliver had seen him and recognized him, and they started talking and laughing, and they went outside. So I was in the narcotics First, I'm going in. I was inside the narcotics office. I was called to the super office. Yes, the man name is Rudyard Dwyer, a brown man, who asked me my name, place of birth, and where I live. Superintendent Dwyer even asked me where I got the money to buy the shoes for my feet, the shoes that I had on. He questioned me, and I answered him truthfully. I told your detective Sergeant Hamilton that I have received several reports of him robbing drug dealers in my police here, and that is why he took my gun and tried to prove a point. He's a thief and police officer, and lots of people have told me how he has robbed and extorted them and wanted some of them to get people to take drugs for him to the United States. I said to him, Superintendent Rodia Dwyer was not interested in what I was saying because I told him that I could provide the names of, of, of Detective Sergeant Victor Hamilton robbery victims. They were able to verify my information and I was released. So Mr. Dwyer didn't want to hear anything about his prize police officer, um, Straga, robbing the people, them drugs and stuff like that in Huntsville police here. You understand? So after they verify all my information, they give me my gun and I was released. You understand? So, that was it. And they released me. So in March 1993, thereabout, I was on bicycle patrol. That was, a few months after this. I was on bicycle patrol along Spanish Town or visiting Riverton City, Kingston 11, along with Detective Constable Kirk Palmer, Carl Nelson, and Bobby Reds. They call him Bobby Williams or Bobby Reds. And reaching the stoplight, I saw a white unmarked SUV, which was a narcotics police vehicle with one of its tires punctured. And a man was changing the tire. The man who was changing the tire was Detective Sergeant Victor Straga Hamilton. And I could see his pistol in the front of his pants waist. And seeing the man, Detective Palmer, who was right beside me riding his bicycle, said to me, Porter, this is the only opportunity we will ever get to kill this thief in police boy who tell lies about you. I'm going to start shooting and you join in the shooting to make it look justifiable. Bobby Reds and Carl Nelson were behind. I don't know if they had heard what Palmer said to me. And I told Kirk Palmer, no, not to shoot him. And Kirk Palmer was angry, very angry, and saying, since when you record? That's what he asked me. And he said, let us kill the boy. He's a wicked boy. We kill the police, a boy, a wicked boy. That he was saying. He said, boy, look what he did to you. And I told him no again. So Palmer was reminding me what Victor Hamilton had done to me um, a few months ago when he took away my firearm and I ended up at narcotics and was trying to, try to inject lies about me and stuff like that. Everyone on my team knew of the incident, and none of us exchanged special entry or tried to help Detective Sergeant Victor Straga Hamilton to change the puncture tire. At the end of the shift, Detective Palmer said to me he was coming off the team because I had become a coward overnight, and that was the last time he worked on the bicycle squad with me and the other men. About 2 years later, I found out from one of Kirk Palmer's friend who worked at Narcotics Division that Detective Sergeant Hamilton had stolen his Kirk Palmer cocaine during a court deal, and he wanted to get even with him by killing him for what he did to him. Honestly, I did not know that both men knew each other and that what Palmer wanted to do personal, but he made it sound like he was going to kill Detective Sergeant Sugar Hamilton because of his loyalty to me as his team leader. I know that at times when police officers are killed, sometimes it is the hands of other police officers, but I could not be a part of such barbaric and callous act. I have a conscience, and not because what he have done to me. I could not rise to that occasion and do what Palmer wanted to me. That was the first and last time I knew of a police officer wanted to kill another police officer in my presence. And I saw Detective Sergeant Victor Hamilton a few times, and although he called to me, I had never forgotten what he did to me. And it was done out of spite and with malice. Eventually, the same man that I had told his superintendent that he was a thief, this man retired as a superintendent of police from the Jamaica Constabulary Force. So I was a constable and he was a sergeant. And I knew that this man was a thief and he retired from the police force as a SOAP. The last division was Kingston Eastern Division. I told Mr. Roddy Dwyer, that this man was a thief. The next video I will share with you was in 1993, near to the general election. I was a passenger on an Encarver bus going to work when three special constables tried to disarm me of the government issued firearm again. Thanks for watching the Jamaica Young Police channel. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, share the video, click on the bell and become a VIP member and comment below. Thanks for spending your time listening to the contents. One love. Have yourself a beautiful day. And struggle thief in police.